Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. Tonight's little video, we are going to review this 8-piece Crowfoot spanner set that I've got here. I bought it a while ago, just haven't got around to doing a little review on it. It is supplied by Odenhof Machinery Mart here in South Africa, McAfrick brand, so it's probably somewhere offshore Chinese import. These are budget end tools. Not extremely expensive. I paid the equivalent of around about $15 for this set, so I haven't got a lot in it, so bear that in mind when you look at the tools itself. Let's get it out of the box and see what's in there. It does not come in a little blow molded case, which I like, so eventually this cardboard box will just be chucked away and this will stay in the toolbox. Now, it's an 8-piece, like I said. If we can maybe just quickly go back here. The sizes are 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19 and 22. Now, I don't know if you guys see there. A 10mm fits a M6, 13 M8, and then a 17 should fit an M10. So that's where they get you on this. The moment you need a size 17, you will have to go and buy the biggest set with 19 or whatever pieces in it, and you'll have doubles of some, or you just give it away to someone. But that's how they get you to eventually buy the bigger set. I haven't had, luckily, fingers crossed, I have not needed the 17 yet, but that's a little bit of a downfall, if I can call it that. I still think they do this sort of thing on purpose to get you to buy the bigger one later on. It's a bit of a marketing thing. So, but nonetheless, before we get into this, let me go and show you why I bought it and where I needed it. I'll get you back at down at my little truck, down at my bucky, and I'll show you, and then we'll come back to the shop and finish the review on it. Okay, so let me show you where I had the need for these Crowfoot spanners. A couple of months ago, I had to replace the steering rack on my bucket. It had a leak in the back, and then you couldn't replace the seal. You had to replace the whole steering rack, and so I got into it. Now, bear in mind, the steering rack has to now come right out into your face, into the screen. But in order to get that done, you have to first loosen the whole rack up. Well, take out the ball joint, then loosen the whole rack up, which is a mess in itself. And then lastly, before you can take it out, you have to loosen those two hoses. Now, I don't care if you've got a 40-pound Filipino body, even you won't get a normal wrench in there. So what you need to do is take your little Crowfoot spanner on a extension, wiggle it in there to the point where you can get it over the top hose. Let me see if I can get you in there where you can get it over the top hose, something like that. And then loosen the top hose before you can get to the bottom one, because there's just no way that you can get to the bottom hose. Then you can take it off. Now there's so little space in there. You couldn't even use a 3/4, so they had to use an 18. You use an 18 spanner. But yeah, that's where I needed them, and that's where I used it. Yes, I did take the wheel off to show you guys again. So that was one of the places that I needed them. If you haven't had the need for one of them and sweat because you didn't have one of them, I don't think you've worked on enough stuff yet. So let's get you back in. Let's get it back in the shop, and I'll have a look at the further one. All right. So now that we are back in the workshop, let's get into this and see what we can get. Now, first of all, the finish of this product, of these Crowfoot wrenches, are actually not bad considering what you pay for it. They are all finished in mirror chrome finish, if you can see there, which is really not bad. Decent, very decent. Then one thing that I must tell you is a definite pro. Let's take the biggest one. I think we'll be able to see bigger, but they all fall in this category. Look at the finish on the inside of the jaws. This is better than most high-end wrenches that I've seen. Really, bonus. Then the lettering is all stamped in. It's not laser etched, so it won't go off. Focus. There we go. So that's definitely also a bonus. What I found was the thickness are actually a little bit thicker than the normal size wrenches. Not even close to well, let alone the tappet style. Let's take the 10mm, and this is a Jador 10mm, so you can see there's quite a difference in the thickness. Not that it has hampered me before. I think what happens is, due to the fact that these are cheaper, well, let's call it budget end tools, they sort of make up for lack of hardness in the steel with just a little bit more beef in there. I have to mention it, but it hasn't crippled me using them before. Then the thickness, we've gone through the shape, as you can see. And I think that's the same thing. It's due to the fact that maybe this is not such high quality steel. The points are actually a bit more rounded off. Once again, I haven't had an issue where I couldn't get it in to fit somewhere or anything like that. So it's a bit more beefy right at the edges, which is a good thing. I mean, I must be honest with you, it's a good thing. That is the one difference that I can quickly see. Maybe if we chuck the two on top of each other, see, there's not a... Let's get you in close. Focus. Not a big difference, but definitely a little bit more meat right on the edge of the open end. Now, like I said, somewhere along, if you range on stuff, somewhere along the line you will be needing one of these. Before I got this set, I had a other project, I can't even remember, where I actually built one out of a piece of 5mm 25 by 25 angle iron with a bolt on top of it, but that just creates its own hassles. First of all, the angle iron is not that hard, so it tends to bend open. If you can see, I don't know if you can see there, I had to hammer it close a couple of times. But I got the job done. The second thing about it is, now you've got the makeshift wrench, you've got a socket on top of that, you've got an extension on top of that, and it just becomes a mess and a kicking and screaming and swearing. You can get by in a pinch. Rather go drive to the tool shop, get yourself a set and get it over and done with. All of them are 3/8. The square head is a 3/8, so you can either fit in a 3/8 extension, or what I normally do is, because my big set of wrenches are 1/2 inch, I've got I won't say gender bender, size reducer. I've got a reducer that fits in there. I've never had issues. They actually fit on quite nicely, quite snug. They do come off every now and then, but it's not a major. It's not a train crash. 3/8 size. I think if you have to go to a 1/2 inch, you might not fit it in. As you can see with the extension, it sort of creates a nice neat, nothing sticking out and getting caught up somewhere. As I've shown you previous, when you need these, you're going into a bad spot in any case. So you don't want to fight unnecessarily. Dimensional tolerances. Let's have a look at that. The 22 measures in at 22.2, so there's 1/5 of a millimeter difference, which is actually quite close. I think that's well within ISO standards or DIN standards or whatever the case may be. The 19 fits in at 19.4, still not bad. Won't round off a nut easily with that. The 18.3, so it seems like between 0.2 and 0.4 millimeters larger. The 15 comes in at 15.2. 14 comes in at, let me not get lazy here, 14.2, 13.3, 11.4, and 10.3. So all within about, let's call it 0.3 millimeters over the expected size. So I think that's still well within reach of what it should be. That's a quick one. I must be honest with you guys, the feeling and work of that that they've got is really not bad for the price that I paid for it. The I can't be, besides not having a 17 that I think I'm going to need somewhere along the line probably. Maybe if there's a reason why they do not include a 17, let me know in the comments below. But other than that, I can't really diss it. It comes with this little spring clip holder you can bolt into your toolbox. I don't think I'm going to be carrying them along in my day-to-day toolbox. I don't use them that often. Probably there are guys that will definitely need them on a more regular basis, but other than that, really guys, well worth the money. If you consider what I paid for them, well worth the money. I'll keep them in my toolbox here in the shop and take them wherever and use them wherever as needed. Normally when I work on funny stuff, it's right, well, in or right next to the shop, so I can quickly access them, and that's bonus for me. Alright guys, this is a quick little review. I think I'm done here. Get yourself a set of these if you were ever in a position you'd go and buy them. The odd $15 is not worth the kicking and screaming that I've gone through before I had them. And with that, I think I'm going to call it. As always, thank you for watching. If you've made it thus far, I really appreciate it. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and as always, stay safe.